Shocking figures have emerged about the number of Alberta children dying while in foster care. 145 have died since 1999. A third of them infants, the majority of them Aboriginal. But fewer than half of the deaths were reported by the provincial government. The CBC's Paul Moore is here now, live with more on the disturbing numbers. Paul.
Well, Adrian, those numbers came out in an Edmonton Journal investigation. Government documents show only 56 of the 145 deaths were ever made public. The opposition calls those revelations disturbing, and one parent I spoke to of a foster child who died says this just adds to the grief.
More questions than answers.
Velvet Martin's daughter Samantha spent most of her life in foster care. After years of unexplained bruises, concerned teachers, and untreated seizures, she died in 2006 when she was just 13.
You hear, well, get over it, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, you live like this for the rest of your life.
Now, the Edmonton Journal investigation shows just how many Alberta children in care are dying, including dozens of unreported deaths. The disturbing numbers have the opposition calling for an emergency debate, a judicial public inquiry, and change.
So to the Premier, even today, you only report child deaths in care and not child deaths in protective services. How can Albertans possibly trust you?
Mr. Speaker, this progressive conservative government, which started in October of 2012, took as one of its first steps making a child advocate an independent officer of this legislature. And Mr. Speaker, we did that because I worked in the family justice system and I worked in child welfare, and I am a concerned Albertan just as every other citizen is.
The minister responsible says parents with children in care don't need to worry.
Every death is significant, but when you take a look at the population, there's not a higher rate of loss of children in child care population than there is in the general population.
Velvet Martin calls government excuses offensive as she looks at the pictures of a daughter she remembers as playful and happy.
It's a cry, it's a plea to actually do something. It just can't happen this way. We're going to end up losing more children again and again, and the next minister will come by and say things are different.
Now, late this afternoon, Government Speaker Jean Zwazdesky ruled there will not be an emergency debate into the children's death. He says he listened carefully to the arguments about this important issue, but he doesn't feel it's necessary to stop all other business for an inquiry. Adrian?
Interesting. Thanks for that, Paul.